The man she fantasizes about isn't the one chasing her. It's the one she can't stop thinking about when he's gone. Let's be real, folks. Most men believe attraction is built by giving more attention, more texts, more effort. They think if they show up enough, care enough, and prove themselves enough, she'll naturally choose them. But that's not what actually happens. You've seen it. Maybe you've lived it. You're consistent. You're available. You make things easy for her. And for a while, it feels like it's working. Then, slowly, something shifts. Her energy cools off. The excitement fades. And suddenly you're the one trying to pull her back in. Here's the truth most men miss. Desire doesn't grow from comfort alone. It grows from tension, curiosity, and emotional impact. It grows when a woman feels something she can't fully predict or control. There are specific psychological traits that trigger that response. Not games, not manipulation, but a different way of showing up as a man. A way that creates pull instead of pressure. And when you understand these traits, everything changes. You stop chasing, you stop overthinking, and without forcing anything, she starts leaning toward you, thinking about you, wanting more of your presence. In this video, I'll break down exactly what creates that shift. Let's get into it. Number 1. Stop needing her approval. Let's be honest, folks. A woman can feel when a man is trying to earn his worth through her attention. She may not say it out loud. She may even enjoy the attention for a while. But deep down, the moment she senses that your confidence rises and falls based on how warmly she responds, attraction starts slipping away. Most men never notice this. They think they are being caring, thoughtful, consistent. They think texting first, checking in often, and adjusting themselves to keep her happy will make her feel safe. But what she often feels is something else. Pressure, weight, responsibility. She starts to feel that she has become the emotional center of your life, and that is not seductive. That is exhausting. Here is a real picture of how this plays out. Daniel is 46. He meets Rachel, 41, after being introduced by friends at a weekend barbecue in Austin. They hit it off. Daniel likes her right away, so he starts giving more. He sends long good morning texts. He asks if she got home safe, if she ate, if everything is okay at work. On the surface, it looks considerate. But Rachel begins to notice something underneath it. Daniel is watching her reactions too closely. If she replies with less warmth, he tries harder. If she takes a few hours to answer, he sends another message to fill the silence. Now, she does not feel drawn in. She feels that she is carrying his emotional balance. That is where attraction dies, my friend. Now, picture Daniel with a different frame. He still shows interest. He still enjoys her company, but he does not need every text to reassure him. He is not trying to decode every pause. He is not changing his tone just to keep her engaged. He goes on with his day. He handles his business. He keeps his center. Rachel feels the difference immediately. There is no pressure on her to hold him together. Instead of feeling responsible for his peace, she becomes curious about his world. That is the shift. Approval-seeking kills tension. Self-possession creates it. When you stop reaching for confirmation, your presence feels cleaner, stronger, and more masculine. She can finally feel you as a man with a life, not a man waiting to be emotionally fed. The Stoics understood this long before modern dating ever existed. Epictetus taught that when you tie yourself to what is outside your control, you surrender your freedom. Her mood is not yours to control. Her timing is not yours to control. Her approval is not yours to control. The only thing that belongs to you is your conduct, your self-respect, and your inner steadiness. And that steadiness is attractive. A woman wants to feel that you chose her from a place of strength, not that you clung to her from a place of hunger. She wants to feel your desire, yes, but she also wants to feel that your life remains solid with or without her response. So, stop fishing for reassurance. Stop over-explaining. Stop performing just to be liked. Show up honestly. Speak clearly. Then, let her come toward you on her own. If this hit home, my friend, drop this in the comments. I stand my ground. Stick with me, because the next shift reveals why a little uncertainty can stir more desire than constant availability ever will. Number 2. Make her feel uncertain desire. Let's be real for a second, folks. Predictability feels safe, but it rarely feels exciting. When a woman can fully map you out too quickly, when she knows exactly how you'll respond, how fast you'll reply, and how much you want her, something inside her stops leaning forward. There's nothing left to discover, and desire needs discovery. Most men make this mistake without realizing it. They think consistency means being completely predictable. Same tone, same energy, same availability. Always there, always ready, always clear. But what that actually creates is emotional flatness. There's no tension, no spark, no reason for her mind to wander back to you when you're not around. Here's what you need to understand, my friend. The human brain is wired to chase what it cannot fully predict. Psychologists call this a prediction loop. When something is certain, the brain relaxes. But when something is slightly uncertain, not chaotic, just not fully predictable, the brain pays attention. It becomes alert. It becomes curious. That's where desire starts to grow. Now listen carefully. This is not about being unreliable. It's not about ignoring her, disappearing randomly, or playing games. That's weak behavior disguised as strategy. What we're talking about is something more controlled. You remain grounded in who you are, but you don't reveal everything all at once. You don't make your emotional pattern obvious. You give her just enough to feel you, but not enough to fully define you. Seneca once said that true power comes from mastering your impulses, not reacting to every moment. And that applies here perfectly. When you don't react instantly, when you don't rush to fill every silence, when you allow space instead of constantly closing it, you create a different kind of presence, a presence that feels calm, but also hard to read. And that tension pulls her in. Think about it this way. If every time she reaches out, you respond the same way, at the same speed, with the same level of intensity, she quickly understands your pattern. There is no emotional movement. But if your energy is consistent in character, yet varied in expression, she starts to feel something else. She starts wondering. She starts checking. She starts thinking about you when you're not there. That's not manipulation. That's psychological reality. Marcus Aurelius wrote about remaining steady within, regardless of external shifts. That steadiness is what keeps you from becoming reactive. And when you are not reactive, you are not predictable. You are grounded. You respond on your terms, not out of urgency. And women feel that. Uncertain desire is not about confusion. It's about curiosity. It's about giving her a reason to lean in mentally, not just physically. When she can't fully pin you down, when she doesn't know exactly what you'll do next, but she still feels your presence as strong and centered, that creates a powerful emotional pull. So, stop over-explaining yourself. Stop narrating every thought. Stop making your next move obvious. Let her wonder a little. If this makes sense to you, drop this in the comments. I create real tension. Stay with me, because the next piece is where most men finally understand how to open up without losing their strength. Number 3. Show power through restraint. Let's be straight about this, folks. Most men think attraction is built by doing more talking, more explaining, more expressing. But real power in a man is not shown in how much he gives. It's shown in what he chooses to hold back. Restraint is what separates emotional strength from emotional leakage. A woman can feel the difference instantly. When a man reacts to everything, fills every silence, and reveals every thought, the moment it appears there is no tension left, no depth, no mystery. He becomes easy to read, easy to predict, and eventually easy to overlook. But when a man has control over himself, when he doesn't rush to respond, when he doesn't feel the need to explain every emotion, something shifts. His presence feels heavier, more grounded. more masculine. Let me give you a real situation. Jason is 51. He's been seeing Michelle, 45, for a few weeks. One evening they're out for dinner and Michelle brings up her past relationship. She tests him a little. She mentions how her ex used to be more spontaneous, more expressive. Now, most men in that moment would react. They'd defend themselves. They'd try to prove they're better. They'd start explaining why they are different. But Jason doesn't do that. He listens. He stays calm. He doesn't compete with a ghost from her past. He doesn't try to win the moment. Instead, he smiles slightly and shifts the conversation with confidence without losing his center. That right there is restraint. And Michelle feels it, not as distance but as strength. She realizes he's not easily shaken. He's not trying to impress her. He's not looking for approval. He's simply present, grounded in who he is. Now compare that to a different version of Jason, one who immediately reacts, one who tries to outperform the ex, one who explains himself too much. That version may feel more expressive, but he also feels less solid, less certain, less attractive. Here's what you need to understand, my friend. Restraint is not silence because you're unsure. It's silence because you don't need to prove anything. It's choosing not to react when reacting would lower your position. It's holding your frame when emotions try to pull you out of it. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events. And in moments like this, that principle becomes real. You don't control what she says, what she tests, or what she compares. You control how you respond, and that response defines your presence. Restraint also shows up in how you communicate desire. You don't overwhelm her with constant validation. You don't flood her with attention just to keep her interested. You give just enough. You let her feel your interest, but you don't drown her in it. That balance creates tension, because when a woman feels that you could say more but you choose not to, she starts leaning in. She starts trying to understand you. She starts investing. That's where attraction deepens. So next time you feel the urge to explain yourself, to prove your value, or to react instantly, pause. Ask yourself if that reaction is coming from strength or from the need to be seen a certain way. Because the man who can hold back, who can stay composed, who can remain steady under pressure, that's the man she cannot easily replace. If this resonates with you, drop this in the comments. I control my reactions. Don't go anywhere, because what comes next will show you how to build a life that pulls her in without saying a word. Number 4. Live a life she wants. Let's get real, folks. The most attractive thing about a man has nothing to do with how he texts, how he flirts, or how he tries to impress a woman. It has everything to do with the life he's building when she's not around. That's what pulls her in. Most men get this backwards. They think attraction is something they create inside the interaction, so they focus on what to say, how to act, how to keep her interested. But what a woman is really responding to is what she senses behind all of that. Your direction, your purpose, your momentum. If your life feels empty, she feels it. If your time feels unlimited, she feels that too. And when a man has nothing going on outside of her, he slowly becomes less interesting to her, because there's nothing to step into. Now understand this clearly, my friend. A woman doesn't just want your attention. She wants to feel like being part of your world is something valuable, something earned, something that adds to her life, not something you're offering just to keep her around. That's where real attraction lives. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a man should be focused on the work of his own soul, not distracted by what others think or do. In today's world, that translates into something very simple. You are building something. You are moving somewhere. You have direction, and you are not abandoning that direction just to secure someone's approval. That's what creates what you could call gravitational pull. When your life has movement, structure, and purpose, people feel it, and women especially are drawn toward it. Not because you're chasing them, but because your path feels strong enough to stand on its own. This is why a man with a clear mission becomes more attractive over time, not less. He's not waiting around. He's not overly available. His time has weight. His attention has value. When he chooses to spend time with a woman, it feels intentional, not automatic. That difference matters more than anything you could say. Seneca once said that if a man does not know which port he is sailing to, no wind is favorable, and that applies directly here. If you don't have direction, no amount of effort in dating will create lasting attraction. But when you do have direction, even your silence carries meaning, because it's backed by something real. So, instead of asking how to keep her interested, ask yourself a better question. What kind of life am I building that she would want to be part of? Are you growing? Are you focused? Are you disciplined with your time? Or are you just reacting, waiting, and hoping things work out? Because women don't chase potential. They respond to momentum. And here's the shift. When your life becomes the priority, you stop centering everything around her. You show interest, but you don't orbit. You engage, but you don't depend. You invite, but you don't chase. That's when she starts leaning in. If this is something you're ready to step into, and you want deeper insights like this that most men never hear, consider joining the membership. That's where we go further without filters and break down what really builds presence, discipline, and attraction over time. If this hit home, drop this in the comments. I lead my life. Stay tuned, because what comes next will show you why pulling back at the right moment can make her move toward you without effort. Number 5. Pull back to pull her in. Let's be honest here, folks. One of the most powerful moves a man can make is also the one most men are afraid to use. Pulling back, not disappearing out of insecurity, not playing games, but consciously creating space. Because here's the truth most men learn too late. When you're always there, always available, always giving, there's nothing left for her to move toward. You remove the need for her to invest. And without investment, attraction fades. Most men think staying close builds connection. They think more contact equals more desire. But desire doesn't grow from constant presence. It grows in the space between moments. Let me give you a real situation. Chris is 48. He's been seeing Amanda, 42, for a few weeks. Things start strong. They text every day. They talk often. Chris enjoys it, so he keeps the momentum going. He replies quickly. He checks in. He keeps the energy alive. At first, Amanda responds well. But after a while, something shifts. Her replies get shorter. She takes longer to respond. The energy drops. Chris feels it, so he does what most men do. He leans in more. He sends another message. He tries to bring the energy back. But that's where he loses control. Now imagine Chris makes a different move. Instead of chasing the drop in energy, he pulls back slightly. Not cold, not distant, just less available. He doesn't respond instantly. He lets conversations breathe. He goes back to his routine, his work, his life. And something interesting happens. Amanda starts noticing the gap. She checks her phone more. She wonders what he's doing. She starts reaching out first. Not because Chris manipulated her, but because space reactivated her curiosity. That's the power of pulling back. When you create space, you give her room to feel your absence. And absence, when used correctly, amplifies desire. It allows her mind to fill in the gaps, to think about you, to miss you. But listen carefully, my friend. This only works if your pullback comes from strength, not fear. If you pull back hoping she chases, she will feel that tension. It becomes passive neediness. But if you pull back because you genuinely have a life, because your time is valuable, because your attention is not automatic, then it feels natural. And that's what creates attraction. A man who can step back without anxiety shows control. He shows that he's not dependent on constant interaction to feel secure. And that kind of emotional stability is rare. It also shifts the dynamic. Instead of you always moving toward her, she starts moving toward you. Instead of you maintaining the connection, she begins investing in it. that's when things change. So the next time you feel her energy dip, don't rush to fix it. Don't flood the space. Let it breathe. Let her come to you. Because the man who knows when to step back is the man she can't easily forget. If this made you see things differently, drop this in the comments. I control the space. Let's keep going, because what comes next will show you how staying grounded under pressure makes you impossible to shake. Number 6. Keep her guessing about you. Let's face it, folks. The moment a woman feels like she has you completely figured out, the emotional tension starts to fade. Not because you did something wrong, but because there's nothing left for her mind to explore. And without that mental engagement, desire slowly loses its edge. Attraction thrives on curiosity. Most men misunderstand this completely. They think being clear, open, and fully predictable makes them trustworthy and appealing. And yes, consistency in your character matters. But predictability in your behavior can quietly drain the energy out of the connection. There's a difference. A woman should feel that you are stable, grounded, and reliable as a man, but she should not feel like she can script your every move. When she knows exactly how you'll respond, how quickly you'll reply, and what you'll say next, her brain stops paying attention. There's no reason to wonder about you, and when she stops wondering, she stops feeling that pull. This is where controlled unpredictability comes in. Now listen carefully, my friend. This is not about acting random or inconsistent. It's not about confusing her or playing emotional games. That kind of behavior signals insecurity. What we're talking about is a deeper level of self-possession. You are consistent in who you are, but not repetitive in how you express it. Marcus Aurelius spoke about remaining steady within, regardless of external circumstances. That inner steadiness is what allows you to move freely without being reactive. When you are not reacting out of habit or need, your behavior naturally becomes less predictable, and that creates intrigue. Think about how most men operate. They respond immediately. They mirror her energy too closely. They reveal everything too quickly. Over time, she can map them out completely. There are no surprises, no variation, no emotional shifts that make her pause and think. But when a man is grounded, when he is not driven by urgency, his rhythm changes. Sometimes he engages deeply, sometimes he steps back, sometimes he's playful, sometimes he's quiet. Not because he's trying to create an effect, but because he's not locked into a pattern. That freedom is what keeps her attention. Seneca once said that a wise man is not bound to a single way of acting, but moves with intention depending on the moment. That flexibility, when rooted in control, creates a presence that feels alive. Not chaotic, but dynamic. And that's what she responds to. Uncertainty, when it is subtle and controlled, creates a mental loop. She starts thinking about you when you're not there. She replays conversations. She wonders what you're doing. She becomes invested not just emotionally but mentally. That's where attraction deepens. But here's the key. This only works when your unpredictability is grounded in a real life. If you're forcing it, if you're trying to act mysterious without substance behind it, it falls apart quickly. Women can sense the difference between authentic depth and artificial behavior. So don't try to be unpredictable. Focus on being present, self-contained, and not driven by routine reactions. Let your responses come from who you are, not from what you think she expects. That alone will make you harder to read. And the harder you are to fully understand, the more she leans in to try. If this shifted your perspective, drop this in the comments. I stay unpredictable. Stay with me, because what comes next will show you how to turn her attention into real pursuit without chasing her at all. Number 7. Make her chase your attention. Let's be honest, folks. Attention is the real currency in attraction. Not money, not looks, not even status by itself. It's your attention. Where you place it, how easily you give it, and whether she has to earn it. Most men give it away too freely. They think attention is how you show interest. so they hand it out constantly. Quick replies, long conversations, endless availability. They make her the center of their focus early on, hoping it will bring her closer. But what it actually does is remove the need for her to invest, and without investment she doesn't chase. Let me show you how this plays out in real life. Brian is 49. He meets Nicole, 44, at a networking event in Chicago. There's clear chemistry. They exchange numbers. Brian is interested, so he leans in fast. He texts the next morning. He keeps conversations going throughout the day. He replies quickly every time she responds. At first, Nicole enjoys it. It feels good to be wanted. But within a week, something shifts. She starts replying less. She takes longer. The energy drops. Brian feels it, so he does what most men do. He gives more attention, more effort. He tries to bring back the spark. But here's what Nicole is experiencing. She doesn't have to do anything to get his attention. It's already there, guaranteed. And when something is guaranteed, it loses value. Now imagine Brian makes a different move. He still shows interest, but he stops making his attention automatic. He doesn't respond instantly every time. He lets conversations pause naturally. He engages when he wants to, not out of habit. He keeps his life moving. And now Nicole feels something different. She notices when he's not there. She wonders why he hasn't replied yet. She checks her phone. She starts reaching out more, not because Brian is playing games, but because his attention is no longer guaranteed. She has to earn it. That's the shift, my friend. When your attention becomes selective, it gains weight. It becomes something she values, not something she expects. And when she values it, she starts investing to receive more of it. That's when she begins to chase. Now understand this clearly. This is not about ignoring her or acting cold. That's weak behavior. This is about having standards for where your attention goes. You're not available all the time because your life is full. Your focus is earned, not given. That energy changes everything. A man who controls his attention controls the dynamic. He's not reacting, he's choosing. And that choice creates a subtle tension that pulls her in, because now she feels like she has to meet you where you are. So stop making your attention predictable. Stop giving it away just to keep her interested. Let her feel that your time and focus are valuable, and let her come toward it. Because the moment she starts investing to get your attention is the moment the dynamic flips. If this hit you, drop this in the comments. I control my attention. Stay with me, because what comes next will show you how staying calm under pressure makes you the man she can't shake, no matter what she does. Number 8. Stay calm under her tests. Let's get something straight, folks. Every woman, consciously or not, will test your emotional stability. Not because she's trying to play games, but because she's trying to understand one thing. How solid are you really? And most men fail right here. They think attraction is built in the good moments, the flirting, the connection, the laughter. But attraction is actually revealed in the moments of pressure. When she challenges you, when she pulls back, when she says something that hits your ego, that's where she's watching. Now listen closely, my friend. A test is not always obvious. It doesn't come with a warning. Sometimes it's a delayed reply. Sometimes it's a sarcastic comment. Sometimes it's her comparing you to someone else. Sometimes it's her acting distant for no clear reason. And in that moment, she's not just looking at what you say, she's watching how you react. Do you get defensive? Do you try to prove yourself? Do you over-explain? Or do you stay grounded? Because that response tells her everything. Most men, when they feel that tension, try to fix it immediately. They rush to smooth things over. They explain themselves. They seek reassurance. And without realizing it, they lower their position. They show that their emotional state depends on her behavior, and that kills attraction. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you always have the power to choose your response no matter what happens around you. That idea becomes real in these moments. You cannot control what she says or how she acts, but you can control whether you remain steady or become reactive. And that control is what she feels. When you stay calm under pressure, when you don't take everything personally, when you don't rush to defend yourself, you create a completely different presence. You show that your center is not easily shaken. That's strength. And strength is what she's testing for. Now, let's go deeper. When a woman throws a small challenge your way, she's often trying to see if you're emotionally secure or if you're dependent on her approval. If you react too quickly, too emotionally, it signals that you're not fully in control of yourself. But when you stay composed, when you respond lightly or don't overreact at all, it creates something powerful. It makes her feel safe. Not safe in the sense of comfort. Safe in the sense that you are stable, that you won't collapse under pressure, that you won't turn unpredictable in a negative way. And that kind of stability is rare. Seneca talked about how a strong man is not disturbed by what happens around him because he has already trained his mind to remain steady. That's exactly what this is. Emotional discipline. You're not suppressing your emotions, you're mastering them. So when she tests you, you don't rush to pass the test. You simply remain yourself. You don't overcorrect. You don't chase approval. You don't let the moment pull you out of your frame. You stay calm. And that calmness does something most men don't understand. It turns the test into attraction, because now she sees that you are not like the others. You are not easily moved. You are not trying to win her validation. You are simply grounded in who you are. And that's what makes you stand out. So the next time you feel that pressure, that slight challenge, that moment where your instinct is to react, pause, hold your frame, because the man who stays calm under pressure is the man she can't control, and that's the man she can't stop thinking about. If this hit you, drop this in the comments. I stay calm always. Don't go anywhere, because what comes next will show you how absence can make her feel your presence even more strongly. Number 9. Let absence build her craving. Let's be honest, folks. Presence creates